Hello, I welcome you to a discussion on allopathy and traditional healing. I have divided my lecture into primarily 8 sections. The first section will be dealing with the meaning of traditional healing. The second section will be focusing on the systems of traditional medicine in world religions. The third section will be highlighting the health impacts of traditional healing. The fourth section will be shedding light on modernity in traditional medicine. I will then shift to the fifth section of my lecture, where I will try to attract your attention on the role of faith healers in the society. The following section, that is the sixth section of my lecture, will portray the transition from traditional to modern medicine. The seventh section of my lecture will try to discuss the meaning of allopathy and the role of allopathic health practitioners. The last and the final section will be focusing on the relationship between faith healers and doctors, which will be followed by a conclusion. According to World Health Organization, traditional medicine is the sum total of knowledge, skills and practices based on the theories, beliefs and experiences indigenous to different cultures, whether explicable or not, used in the maintenance of health as well as in the prevention, diagnosis, improvement or treatment of physical and mental illnesses. Based on the definition provided by World Health Organization, traditional medicine involves a variety of products as well as practices which may involve herbal treatments, animal products such as snake fats or oils, skeletons, beliefs and meditations, and even those which cannot be explained, such as the practice of spiritual healing. According to V.P. Cambodge, herbal drugs constitute only those traditional medicines which primarily use medicinal plant preparations for therapy. The earliest recorded evidence of their use in Indian, Chinese, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and Syrian texts dates back to about 5,000 years. The classical Indian texts include Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Charak Samhita and Sushruta Samhita. The herbal medicines, traditional medicaments, have therefore been derived from rich traditions of ancient civilizations and scientific heritage. In the words of Arnold Mewey, traditional medicine encompasses diverse practices, usually with conflicting characteristics. It is used to describe a variety of health practices which is indigenous to the people who use it and which forms a part of a wider belief system prevalent in that community and which is historically developed. Thus, the diversities in traditional medicine can be understood partly from a historical point of view as well as from various beliefs of health and illness. The South African Traditional Health Practitioners Act defines traditional health practices as the performance of a function, activity, process or service based on a traditional philosophy that uses indigenous African techniques and principles that include traditional medicines or practices, including the physical or mental preparation of an individual for puberty, adulthood, pregnancy, childbirth, and death. Let us now see how the system of traditional medicine is thriving in the world religion. In the work of Arnold Meway, one can find an in-depth understanding of the various systems of traditional medicine found across the globe. Various systems of traditional medicine exist in different parts of the world. In the developed countries, this form of medicine is referred to as complementary and alternative medicine or non-conventional medicine. A few systems of traditional medicines are firstly Ayurveda. It is an ancient Hindu act of medicine. The word Ayurveda literally means the science of life. This form of traditional medicine dates back to the 10th century BC. It is the type of traditional medicine practiced in South Asia, especially in Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. It is a holistic health system which fosters the natural harmony between body, mind, and soul. Ayurveda considers the human being as an inseparable unity of body, mind, and soul. Ayurveda is not only a system of medicine but also a way of living used both to prevent and to cure diseases. Secondly, chiropractic system of traditional medicine. It was founded in the end of the 19th century by a magnetic therapist practicing in Iowa, USA, called Daniel David Palmer, and involves spinal manipulation and spinal adjustments. This is based on the association between the spine and the nervous system and the self-healing properties of the human body. Chiropractic has been proven to be more effective in the treatment of low back pain than conventional medical therapy. Thirdly, the system of homeopathy. It is a system of belief that Hippocrates, the father of medicine, was the first person to use homeopathy. Homeopathy comes from two Greek words, homeo, which means similar, and pathos, which means suffering or disease by extension. Rather than fighting the disease directly, as in biomedicine, the treatment is intended to stimulate the body to fight the disease. By the latter half of the 19th century, homeopathy was practiced throughout Europe as well as Asia and North America. Fourthly, the Unani system of traditional medicine. Unani medicine is based on the four bodily humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. The idea is that disease is caused by an imbalance in the four bodily humors. Unani medicine is also known as Arabic medicine, and it draws from other systems of traditional medicine practiced in China, India, Egypt, Iraq, Iran, and so on. Fifthly, traditional African medicine. It has been in use in China for over 2000 years. It has formed a unique system used for health promotion as well as to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. Diagnosis and treatment is based on a holistic view of the patient and patient symptoms expressed in terms of the balance in yin and yang. Yin represents the earth, cold, and femininity, while yang represents the sky, heat, and masculinity. The action between yin and yang influences the interaction of 5 elements that make up the universe: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Unani, Ayurveda, homeopathy, Chinese medicine, chiropractic, osteopathy, naturopathy, spiritual therapy, reflexology, and aromatherapy are some of the prevalent practices apart from the folk medicines and other popular knowledge. Therefore, in almost all the regions of the world, biomedicalization is taking place. Phurpa Wangchuk opined in his article Health Impacts of Traditional Medicine and Bioprospecting, a world scenario accentuating Bhutan's perspective that life without natural products is unimaginable. It has provided mankind with oxygen, water, fire, food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. Its public health impact is considerably high, especially of traditional medicines and nature-based modern drugs. The traditional medicines, despite its limitations, are addressing the health needs of millions of people worldwide. It is estimated that about 65 to 85% of the world population uses traditional medicines for their primary health cares. It is also estimated that about 39% of all 520 new approved drugs in 1983 to 1994 were natural products, and out of that 74% were discovered as a result of bioprospecting from plants used in traditional medicines. Traditional medicines are increasingly getting more popular mainly because A. It is a holistic system with less side effects. B. It is evolving as an evidence-based medicine. C. Its ethno-medical knowledge is applicable to modern drug discovery programs. As there are many diseases that cannot be cured by the existing drugs, and as there are increasing cases of drug resistance, there is urgent need for drugs that are effective against these pathogens. According to the facts, the Mesopotamians were the first people to use the herbs like oils of cypress, cedar, licorice, and poppy juice for treating different ailments in 2600 BC. Buddhist system of medicine known as Soba Rigpa, that is currently practiced in Bhutan, Tibet, and Mongolia, is 2500 years old, and its pharmacopoeia records the use of as many as 2200 traditional prescription drugs. The National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine was established at the National Institute of Health, USA, in the 1990s to independently develop and support research on complementary and alternative medicine. It categorized 7 forms of therapies practiced worldwide, such as mind-body interventions, bioelectromagnetic therapies, alternative systems of medical practice, manual healing methods, pharmacological and biological treatments, herbal medicine, and diet and nutrition. According to World Health Organization, traditional herbal medicines are getting significant attention in global health debates. In China, traditional herbal medicine played a prominent role in the strategy to contain and treat severe acute respiratory syndrome. 80% of African populations use some form of traditional herbal medicine. Many hope traditional herbal medicine research will play a critical role in global health. China, India, Nigeria, the United States of America, and World Health Organization have all made substantial research investments in traditional herbal medicines. Thus, development in the sphere of health is taking place as time passes by. Researches are taking place to analyze the impact of traditional medicines on the human beings. One of the best portrayals of modernity in traditional medicine can be found in the work of Arnold Mewey, where he states that the concept of modernity in traditional medicine has been used for decades by local traditional medicine practitioners as a strategy for commercializing traditional medical services and traditional medical plants. Some in the allopathic medical system are skeptical about such branding of traditional medicine. Modernity in traditional medicine is therefore controversial, as many have different views and opinions about modernization. Modernity in traditional medicine could be thought about as a marriage between modern medicine and traditional medicine. It could be viewed as a transition from the primitive method of traditional medicine, in which witchcraft is used to diagnose and treat patients, to a more scientific based approach in diagnosis and treatment of illness. Mohyuddin discusses modernity in traditional medicine, taking into account 4 important points, in which he describes the tenets of modernization of traditional medicine. They are as follows. Number 1, autonomy. He acknowledges that granting autonomy to traditional medicine practitioners would increase their self-awareness, highlight their central role in society, and enable them to exercise their rights as traditional practitioners and citizens. To him, modernity in traditional medicine entails self-policing, self-management, and self-governance. Number 2, training. Undertaking training of traditional health practitioners will improve traditional knowledge systems, practices, capacities, and capabilities. This will consequently improve the quality and efficacy of traditional medicine. Training of traditional medicine practitioners could involve identifying diseases that can be effectively cured by traditional medicine, so as to avoid making traditional medicine appear to be a panacea for all illnesses. Training will also help to preserve indigenous knowledge. Number 3, documentation. Documentation is essential if traditional medicine is to gain status in the National Health Service. Documentation has the advantages of recording the treatment, successes, as well as failures of traditional health remedies. Number 4, peer education, monitoring and regulation. Autonomy, training and documentation pave a way for the evaluation of traditional medicine. Evaluation may be done by independent evaluation bodies or peers. The aim of evaluation is to verify whether traditional doctors are doing what they are supposed to do, or how well they do the things they ought to do. Therefore, it's by this way that one can note the modernity in the system of traditional medical system. According to the thoughts of A. Mohyuddin and M. Ambreen, healing through faith is also termed as spiritual healing. It is a healing of soul through a frame of mind that is highly refined in thoughts and feelings and free from sensuality. It is a concept of intense degree of belief in the power of divinity to the extent of total dependence for any kind of treatment or solution to problems. Muslim faith healers have their own sacred writings and rituals by which they do faith healing. Holistic healing traditions vary significantly from country to country, but all of them have a common substratum, the way of looking at the world, in which solution depends not only on a discrete science of healing, but on the integral totality of habits, behavior, and even moral attitudes in the well-being of an individual. Internationally, The concept of a faith healer is that of a person who is gifted to have direct communication with the supernatural powers of the universe, from where he derives knowledge, belief, and strength to be communicated in different expressive and non-expressive forms, including magic. Faith healers have unquestioned faith in the chain of hierarchy or levels or platforms they fall under their guidance from the unknown. He or she is the socially initiated, ceremonially inducted member of a recognized religious organization with a rank and function that belongs to him or her as the tenant of an office held by others before him. The source of power given to them in their internal society and institution is the source of their function. They have a strong belief in knowledge and wisdom of the domain they belong to, and believe in and practice their healing powers through strictly formatted rituals. As faith healers have strong influence on the behavior of their believers, besides being pious and religious, they should also have social acceptance, irrespective of the culture. If the faith healer is popular, he can bring significant changes in the lives of his believers. Their dramatic rituals promote the release of tension from daily pressures by providing a focal concentration for frustration release to maintain social control. The villagers consider faith healers as their guide and teacher in resolving their social, medical, employment, and economic problems. They seek active assistance from these faith healers and act accordingly. They are considered to be a more religious, pious, humble, honest, and wise than ordinary beings. They are qualified in religious matters and superior for having spiritual knowledge. They are expected to have the best possible attributes and are judged by their deeds. The reputation of these faith healers varies depending on their success in treating the problems. They seek help of their faith healers because they feel that these problems cannot be controlled by anyone except supernatural powers. The use of white and black magic is also popular for their solution. It is, however, practiced in secrecy. These social problems include to improve economic conditions and living standards, to have better crop, to find a good spouse for their daughters, to have control over husbands and in-laws, to get rid of in-laws, to have safe pregnancy and delivery, to have children, especially sons, to protect their belongings from evil eye. Thus, the faith healers and the believers have a reciprocal relationship which indeed have a strong impact in the society. The term modernity was coined to capture the growing changes that are in progress by contrasting the modern with the traditional. Due to globalization, there has been the growing dissolution of the national borders, which is making medicines of country available in other country. Western medicine is also called modern medicine. Since the 18th century, with the development of anatomy, biology, pathology, microscopy, pharmacology, and laboratory animal science, most of our understanding of diseases in Western medicine has been supported by evidence-based research. These scientific technologies have helped us understand, appreciate, and identify many diseases, and have assisted medical scientists with the discovery of details about the biology, pathology, and pharmacology of these diseases, which include various kinds of viral, bacterial, and tuberculosis infections. They have aided the discovery of more powerful chemical treatments and established appropriate low-risk surgical procedures to cure many dangerous diseases such as acute appendicitis, acute cholelith disease, and acute cerebral injury, which could not be treated properly using original or modern traditional medicines. People are thus shifting from the traditional medicines to the modern scientific biomedicines. Traditional medicine has been gradually forced underground in many societies due to pressure from missionaries and governments who perceived such practices as witchcraft. According to Weiden Pan and Huozong, there exist various healing and treatment approaches in modern medicine, which generally fall into four broad categories. Number 1, original traditional medicine. Number 2, modern traditional medicine. Number 3, Western medicine. And number 4, integrative medicine. It is predicted that original traditional medicine has limitations and needs to advance using modern technology. Modern traditional medicine includes four main developments. First, the diagnosis of diseases in old theories has been expanded. Second, the manufacturing processes for modern traditional medicines have not yet been perfected. The specificity and quality of original traditional medicines are serious problems in many countries. Third, the teaching of original traditional medicines has developed and has been improved. The fourth and final development is the advanced application of original traditional medicine. Some doctors have used acupuncture, anesthesia in operations or use materials from modern traditional medicine to execute operations. Modern acupuncture seems to be more effective and powerful for treating acute diseases than the original traditional medicine and is without serious side effects. Thus, the transition from the traditional to modern medicine has been a big leap towards the progress of the human civilization. But along with the modern medical system, traditional medical systems are also thriving in many sectors of the world. According to Medterm's dictionary, allopathic medicine is defined as the system of medical practice which treats disease by the use of remedies which produce effects different from those produced by the disease under treatment. The term allopathy was coined in 1842 by C.F.S. Hahnemann to designate the usual practice of medicine as opposed to homeopathy, the system of therapy that he founded based on the concept that disease can be treated with drugs thought capable of producing the same symptoms in healthy people as the disease itself. In the works of N.M. Tembani, the allopathic professional or modern medical system, which is dominant in most Western countries, includes physicians of all specialities with recognized allied medical disciplines, for example, nurses, physiotherapists, and radiotherapists. It is characterized by the application of scientific medical knowledge and technology to health and the healing process. Allopathic or modern medicine, which regards the body in purely mechanistic terms, includes notions that life processes can be controlled, mechanized, and engineered interventions. According to a study by Tembani 2009, the allopathic health practitioners show a negative attitude towards the traditional healing methods. They consider the method to be unscientific, delays the patients to come to the doctors as they spend much time to the faith healers, and that traditional healing system interferes in the efficacy of hospital treatments. The respondents in his study expressed concern regarding unscientific methods used by the traditional health practitioners when treating patients. These included not maintaining sterility through hand washing before and after attending to patients, not using sterile equipment or measuring the strength of medicine given to patients, not prescribing the dosages of their traditional medicine according to the age and weight of the patient, and also prescribing the medicines for an indefinite period. There was also no proper storage of their traditional medicines. It can be predicted that allopathic health practitioners are not a follower or the believer of the traditional pattern of treating medicines, as it is based on unscientific grounds. But it can also be noted that integrative healthcare systems are coming up as models for the other medical institutions, where traditional methods of providing healing to the patients are promoted by the health practitioners. Faith healing is an international phenomenon and plays an important role in regulating social relationship and social structure. The structural functionalists maintained that each custom and belief of a society has a specific function that serves to perpetuate the structure of the society and its ordered arrangement of parts so that society continues to exist. In the seminal study of Anwaar Mohyuddin and Mamonah Ambreen, it can be found from the table that shows the ratio of utilization of different modes of treatment in Zandra. It is clear from the above figures that allopathic treatment is getting popular among the young generation. 65% of the young respondents used allopathic mode of treatment by self-medication and consulting doctor, whereas it was just 24% among the senior citizens. The total number of respondents who use allopathic medicines among all three age groups was 133. About consulting other traditional healers, they added that even after getting education, depending upon traditional methods of healing would not only cause wastage of time but also health, resulting in further deterioration of disease. This cause for utilization of allopathic mode confirms that education has also direct impact on utilization of allopathic mode of treatment. Thus, to some extent, it can be found from the above study that consulting a doctor is becoming more important than consulting a faith healer during time of distress. The process applied by the traditional healers involves their belief system. Without faith on the system of treatment directed by the traditional healers, one cannot get the desired results. Doctors, on the other hand, promote the treatment of diseases of the patients by following the scientific line. They give pills, encourages surgery so that one can get faster healing from the pathology that he or she suffers from. Traditional healers, on the other hand, demand the faith of the believers and are not based on any scientific grounds. Those studies are taking place showing the usefulness of the healing methods used by the faith healers, but the full implementation of the traditional healing methods by the doctors are still questionable in many parts of the world. Thus, I would like to conclude my lecture by saying that the widespread use of herbal medicine and its uses are not restricted to the developing countries or the faith healers, but it has become a major part of the study globally. Herbal remedies are popular among patients with chronic diseases. Doctors should monitor the perceived benefits and adverse effect of self-prescribed herbal treatments consumed by their patients and bears in mind the possibility of herb-drug interactions. Ernst opined that the public thus should be better protected and informed on herbal medicine, and doctors should take an active part in the process. Thank you.